Chapter 91 No matter what, I saved him. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hear Ye Qiu's words. Xiao Wuji was stunned, his face twitching, the fifth soul ring that was about to light up almost dimmed. He suffered such a big loss. I just wanted to take a small revenge, so you told me you didn't want to play anymore. He was very unhappy, don't want to agree. Oops. Ye Wu waved his hand. At the same time, Ye Qiu's indifferent complaints also sounded. After that, Xiao Wu once again stole Ye Qiu's lines. He put his hands on his hips and snorted coldly. Humph. You can't afford it, right? Ye Qiu rolled his eyes wildly in his heart. Why does this rabbit like to provoke others so much? How is it possible that there is only 1/3 of the incense stick left? As an examiner, I naturally have to abide by the rules. Xiao Wuji bared his teeth. The cramping pain in the flesh and blood of his right arm made him sweat and tremble. I hunted geese all day long, but got pecked in the eye by the geese. A moment of silence. Ye Qiu's voice was calm and confident. How about this? Xiao Wu and I will take Teacher Zhao's move head-on, if we catch it. This test is over. He is afraid of pain. I don't want to ask for trouble either. Look at Xiao Wuji's posture just now. He definitely won't give up until he beats himself up. I just have the chance to be a real man for 3 seconds today. Okay. Xiao Wuji raised his eyebrows. He looked at the iron lump in front of him with a strange expression. Are you serious? All around, Tang San, Zhu Zhuqing and others who had already stood up looked at Ye Wu in shock. So floating? Do you want to die? Tang San advised. Xiao Wu, Ye Qiu, I think we should hold on together for a while. If it really doesn't work that he no longer hides his clumsiness, that he took out his big treasured hidden weapon and treated Xiao Wuji fiercely. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Ye Wu and nodded. No thanks. Sister Xiaowu, we are serious. It's no problem to take his full blow. Xiao Wu raised her head. He shook the scorpion braid behind him, very arrogant. Okay mistress, please step back. Teacher Zhao is just here to test us, not to kill us. He is measured. Ye Qiu's voice was still confident. Wave them away. Tang San heard this. It suddenly makes sense. He felt relieved and nodded. The two girls, Zhu Zhuqing and Dai Mubai, retreated to the side in the direction of Dai Mubai. Teacher Zhao, please. Good boy, you have the guts. Xiao Wuji moved his muscles and bones. He needs to speak his mind well, otherwise spread the word, known by all the teachers in Flanders. He doesn't even have to hang out with Shrek anymore. After temporarily suppressing the pain in his right arm, Xiao Wuji let out a sigh of relief. Boy, I don't need any soul skills to punch you from the front with all my strength. If you can take it. Even if you pass this test, Xiao Wuji's soul ring either increases his strength or increases his defense. He was confident and knocked down Ye Wu with one punch. Ye Wu nodded lightly, and he arrogantly raised his fingers towards Xiao Wuji. Come here. Xiao Wu wanted to be beaten. This triggered Xiao Wuji's first black line. Feeling unhappy, Tang San and others also felt ashamed. Heart, Ye Qiu was helpless. Can you restrain yourself a little bit? Xiao Wu resented. I'm obviously cooperating with you. Ye Qiu chuckled. He's here. Xiao Wu just put down her provocation. Xiao Wuji could no longer bear it. The golden light of the left fist shines brightly. The ground beneath his feet exploded, and his speed surged. It can be said to be one step at a time. Even the eye of insight could barely catch the speeding figure. In the surprised eyes of everyone, Ye Wu immediately faced the difficulty. Raise your fist. Then he rushed towards Xiao Wuji. The body is anti-human, folding backwards, and at the same time, the whole body shines with golden light. Under the martial soul fusion skill, the waist arch can double the waist strength. Invincible golden body, more than doubled the strength. Ye Wu's body, like an arm strength stick, it suddenly straightens from its most bent state. A powerful and heavy straight punch. He rushed towards Xiao Wuji's huge bare paw. The difference seems huge. The crimson light shines brightly in Ye Wu's eyes, which is charming. A sneer appeared on Xiao Wuji's lips. It seems to have been expected. He closed his eyes and smashed his fist with the power of a savage bear, roaring in anger. Swish. Ye Wu suddenly turned to one side. Both of them hit each other with their fists. Is he crazy? Dai Mubai's eyes widened. Xiao Wu. Tang San opened the purple demon eyes, feeling a little worried. Bang. A dull voice sounded. What? Ning Rongrong exclaimed. A blue-white figure flew back. Just as it was about to hit the surrounding buildings, his body trembled. When he appeared again, he was already beside Ning Rongrong. He put his hand on her shoulder. Ye Qiu's voice was frivolous. What? Are Miss Ning worried about me? What? Ning Rongrong was frightened and slapped the ruthless iron hand away. He put his hands on his hips and cursed. You bastard. Why don't you die? I'm just afraid that you will be too miserable and dirty my eyes. Humph. We won't die. Xiao Wu's charming voice came out. At the same time, he blamed Ye Qiu in his heart, hot face against cold butt. Xiao Wu, are you okay? Tang San never knew the specifics of Xiao Wu's fourth soul skill, and his expression showed concern. Sister Xiaowu is fine. Xiao Wu patted her breastplate proudly, making a banging sound, and then pointed at Zhao Wuji in the center of the clearing. It should be him who is in trouble, he. Zhao Dai Mubai had no time to be surprised and hurriedly greeted him. He could see it clearly just now. After Zhao Wuji received a punch, he let out a muffled groan. The body kept retreating. He stepped on the ground and made several shallow pits. He stood there, his face turning red and white, obviously very uncomfortable. Go away, what can happen to me? Zhao Wuji's face was livid. He pushed Dai Mubai away and looked at Ye Wu coldly. My heart, liver, spleen, lungs and kidneys all ached. Not wanting to stay here any longer, he said coldly, very good, you have passed the assessment. Next, Xiao Bai will take you to the dormitory. Say it, about to leave, but he was stopped by Ye Qiu. Teacher Zhao, wait a moment. Puff. Strange waves ripple. The mecha on Xiao Wu's body turned into points of light and reorganized into Ye Qiu, came to Zhao Wuji. The dragon's beard needle must be removed from his body. Xiao Wu was just wrapped up by Ye Qiu and praised by Ye Qiu for growing up. Her face is flushed, her face is full of excitement, and her tender cheeks make people want to take a bite. Just now Tang San didn't activate the purple demon eyes, but now his eyes were attracted to Xiao Wu again. He didn't notice Ye Qiu taking the needle at all. For Zhao Wuji's injury, Ye Qiu's heart didn't waver at all. No matter what, is this considered saving him? He was not bruised or tormented by toxins. Tang San wasn't much injured either. Tang Hao probably wouldn't ask him to make a big sword at night. With the help of the Eye of Insight, he developed a furry black jade hand, captured the dragon and controlled the crane. He easily took out the golden gravel. Zhao Wuji left, went to find Oscar to eat his big sausage. Ye Qiu turned around. Zhu Zhuqing had already walked in front of him. Ye Qiu. Xiao Wu quickly ran over and hugged Ye Qiu's arm tightly, rub and rub, staring at her big cat. His eyes were guarded. Zhu Zhuqing's face did not change. He said coldly, thank you just now. Ye Qiu chuckled, you're welcome. Xiao Wu puffed her mouth and pulled him, feeling sour. Dai Mubai raised his eyebrows, stepped forward and said. Okay, I'll take you to the dormitory right now. Say it. He had to step forward to help Zhu Zhuqing, who was seriously injured, directly rejected by cold eyes. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 92. Ah Yin doesn't feel any pain but is very itchy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dai Mubai frowned. Take your hand back, take Ye Qiu and others to the dormitory. Xiao Wu looked at Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing warily. The fusion just now made her understand that Ye Qiu had thoughts about both of them. Li Ding felt dizzy and looked at Ye Qiu. She wants to declare her sovereignty, he said to Dai Mubai. Sister Xiaowu wants to live with Ye Qiu. Ye Qiu raised his eyebrows but said nothing. Tang San's expression condensed. The injured area didn't seem to hurt much. On the contrary, I felt a little uncomfortable. Dai Mubai glanced at her and Ye Qiu, and calmly shook his head. No, if you don't exercise moderation, it will affect your cultivation. You are dirty. Xiao Wu's face turned red and she stared with big round crimson eyes, sarcastic comments. You think everyone is like you and still playing twins. You. Dai Mubai paused and turned back to glare at her, but after meeting the eyes of Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu, he swallowed back the words he was about to say. It's not that he is a coward, he is a hero who will not suffer the immediate disadvantages. What are you? Sister Xiaowu, did you say something wrong? Xiao Wu squeezed twice, looking at Ye Qiu. He smiled fawningly. the look in his eyes when he was supporting me just now was so handsome, hold his arm and rub it. Ye Qiu looked at her angrily, enjoying himself with peace of mind, it's really comfortable and soft. Dai Mubai's face turned ugly, he clenched his fists and looked at Zhu Zhuqing from behind with some guilt, in this regard. Tang San breathed a sigh of relief. Ning Rongrong was very interested. Zhu Zhuqing seemed as if he hadn't heard anything, she had seen it all that day. The truth was the truth, a rotten orange is a rotten orange. Soon, everyone was assigned to dormitories one after another. Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu shared a room, Tang San and Oscar shared a room, and Ye Qiu and Zhu Zhuqing had a private room. Xiao Wu stood in front of the door, watching Ye Qiu go away, somewhat unhappy. She really wanted to live with Ye Qiu, but that Ye Qiu is in a single room, he would definitely not refuse if I went to warm his bed occasionally. What's the point of killing that liar? Ning Rongrong curled her lips, apart from his cultivation talent and being a bit handsome, there is nothing else. Humph. Ye Qiu is not a liar. It's obviously your fault. Xiao Wu snorted coldly. She knew all about those things. Ning Rongrong's face turned red and she was a little angry. Anyway, I don't care anyway, he just has to pay back the money. If he doesn't pay back, I will be dependent on him. No, you are not allowed to rely on him. I want it. Regarding the small conflict between Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu, Ye Qiu had no idea. At this time he had arrived in his dormitory. They are said to be dormitories, but in fact they are just small wooden houses rented by villagers, which are far apart. The single room is more than 10 square meters, not big. There is a separate guard, which ensures enough private space, and Ye Qiu is quite satisfied with this. The first thing that came into the room, Ye Qiu took out Ah Yin from the Rui treasure bag and placed it beside the bed to improve the air, spent some time organizing things. A somewhat bored Ye Qiu, it pinched Ah Yin's branches and leaves, turned into spots of light, and wrapped her tightly, where her with fine scales like snake scales. Dark space, green light filled every corner, but no one was seen. The beautiful young woman Ah Yin suddenly stood up and looked around with some vigilance. The willow leaf-like dark eyebrows frowned slightly. Ye Qiu's mind kept changing. One moment I want to slap my butt, the next I want to take out my heart, and the next I want to do both. This made Ah Yin's face turn red and her beautiful eyes look evil. Look around, I don't know if he wants to press the front or wipe the back. There's no need to be so defensive about me, right? Ye Qiu's joking voice sounded behind Ah Yin, followed by a crisp sound, snapped. Yeah. Ah Yin cried out in pain, and the arms that were originally wrapped around her chest were immediately lowered, covering her rippling buttocks, and she ran forward quickly. Turn around. His face was red and frosty, and his blue eyes were sparkling. I have to squeeze out tears, indescribably touching. Ye Qiu. You've gone too far. How could you do that to me? Ah Yin's gentle voice was filled with anger and grievance. Who makes you always think the worst about me? Ye Qiu waved his hand. He knows. Ah Yin was talking about more than just this slap. There are also previous learning materials and Xiao Wu's practical classes. Ah Yin was stunned, extremely ashamed and annoyed. It's not like you always think about those colorful pictures. Every time I come in, you still want to play such a childish game. Ah Yin gritted his teeth and rubbed his butt. His body felt warm and he felt something strange in his heart. This is when Ye Qiu comes back, fun little games to play with her. She couldn't resist at all. Every time I try my best to defend, I always guess wrong. She had to admit it in her heart. This game really made my dull heart feel exciting and passionate, but you definitely can't admit it verbally. She is a married woman. Okay, these are just insignificant little punishments. The past is over. Ye Qiu shrugged and sat down cross-legged, aware of her true thoughts. He raised his eyebrows. Suddenly I felt that my punishment was not really insignificant. Of course it won't hurt, but Ah Yin didn't seem to feel itchy. Thinking of this, Ye Qiu couldn't help but look to the future, and some fragrant pictures flickered by. Ah Yin gritted his teeth, looking at Ye Qiu, who had clearly understood his thoughts and was looking at him with a face full of teasing. Immediately he spit hard again. Bah, you're obscene. Ye Qiu sneered, looking at Ah Yin, who is luxurious and elegant, but a little guilty and shy. I can't help but admire in my heart. Ah Yin felt secretly proud in his heart. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Ye Qiu put away those thoughts and became much more serious. Ah Yin felt a little bit disappointed in his heart. From Ye Qiu, she received many compliments that she had never received before. He asked angrily. What did you come in for? I'm afraid you'll be lonely and bored, so I came to keep you company. Humph. Are you so kind? Of course, I really mean it. Ye Qiu looked at her seriously. Ah Yin couldn't feel any distracting thoughts from him. The face becomes red and the heartbeat speeds up, muttering twice. Who asked you this? The corners of Ye Qiu's mouth curled up slightly, and suddenly a seat was woven by the blue silver emperor under him. He raised his finger towards Ah Yin. How about you come over and give me a shoulder squeeze? Ah Yin quickly deceived herself and suppressed the joy in her heart. He said coldly, you don't even help me practice and you still want me to serve you. What a beautiful idea. That being said, Ah Yin still walked carefully behind Ye Qiu with a cold face. The slender jade fingers like onion roots were placed on Ye Qiu's shoulders and pinched gently. Why is it necessary to distinguish it so clearly? Didn't I take you there with the ice and fire eyes? Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. At first, this was just a massage that Ah Yin took the initiative to prevent herself from being bullied. When I got to the back, I became bolder. I don't want to press it anymore. Ye Qiu was not happy anymore. If he doesn't follow the rules and doesn't practice, Ah Yin succumbs again. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 93 Tell Tang How You Want to Go Home. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time passed slowly. Ye Qiu and Ah Yin sat cross-legged, back to back. I practiced lightly for a while. In the room, the blue gold, scaly and armored blue silver emperor swayed gently. There is soul power rippling. There are two diamond-like particles at the top of the trunk. Click. Ye Qiu's door was suddenly pushed open. Ye Qiu did a soft call. Half of a petite pink body squeezed out from the crack in the door. Xiao Wu stuck out her little head. Ye Qiu's sister Xiaowu has come in. Look left and right. Ye Qiu was nowhere to be seen, only the swaying grass. Quietly, he came to the blue-silver grass and stretched out his finger to poke it. No movement was seen. He pouted and sat down on the edge of the bed. For the sights and sounds outside, Ah Yin and Ye Qiu can naturally see and hear it. Xiao Wu is here. Aren't you going out yet? Don't worry, I'll stay with you. Humph. Pretending. Ah Yin snorted coldly, feeling happy in her heart but unforgiving on her lips. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. Sooner or later, I have to test how good she is at talking. He curled his lips and stood up directly. Okay, then I won't pretend. You. Ah Yin bit her red lips and turned her head, her eyes wide. This guy has no sincerity at all. She was even more angry when she looked at Ye Qiu, gritting his teeth bitterly, because Ye Qiu didn't look at her, but looked at Xiao Wu who was rolling around on his bed outside, looking at the rogue rabbit rubbing his quilt frantically on the bed. Several black lines appeared on Ye Qiu's forehead. He looked back at Ah Yin. She immediately changed her expression to an indifferent expression. Ye Qiu secretly laughed. Just now, he had been distracted from feeling her emotions. She was cold, and so was Ye Qiu. He asked lightly. Tang Hao will come tonight. Do you want to see him? Ah Yin was stunned for a moment. The word Tang Hao, she couldn't help but want to extinguish every trace of strangeness towards Ye Qiu in her heart, but it's impossible. Tang Hao's various abnormalities had already made her feel grudge. Dai Mei frowned slightly. How did you know he would come? Guess. Ye Qiu shrugged. There was an inexplicable smile on his face. Ah Yin couldn't help but feel a little panicked. What bad idea did you have again? I mean well. Humph. I don't believe it. You'd better keep your words to deceive those little girls. Ah Yin straightened his long legs and hammered lightly. Okay, I just want to tell him that you want to go home. I wonder if he is willing to take you back. Ye Qiu looked confused, but with the smile on his face, he must have the answer in his heart. Ah Yin raised his head in surprise. Before she could say anything, the space suddenly dimmed. Ye Qiu has left. Boundless darkness enveloped me. Ah Yin felt sad in his heart. Does Ye Qiu not want him anymore? Xiao Wu squirmed like maggots on Ye Qiu's bed, not aware of it. The blue-silver emperor standing beside the bed, wearing scales and armor, suddenly burst out with brilliance. A cluster of dense light shines. Ye Qiu appeared beside the bed. He was looking coldly at Xiao Wu bouncing on the bed. What? Noticed Ye Qiu, Xiao Wu's movements froze, and then she hurriedly folded the quilt, then he knelt down on the bed and looked at Ye Qiu angrily. Ye Qiu bent down slightly and pinched her chin, a smirk formed on his lips. Little rabbit, should I punish you now? Punishment? Xiao Wu was startled, his eyes moved down from Ye Qiu's face. Not long after, a large blush appeared on his face, biting her red lips. He gave Ye Qiu a charming look. Kneeling, he stepped forward and put his arms around Ye Qiu's waist, as if asking for mercy. Stick it tightly. In the dead of night, the entire Shrek Academy was completely quiet. Vice President Zhao Wuji is at his residence. Somewhat glum, he never expected that he was just planning to stretch his muscles due to itchy hands, but he ended up losing face. If this happened before, he wouldn't have killed them directly, but now the identity is different. He is the teacher of the academy and they are the students. I can only swallow this stuffy breath. Make a fist with your right hand and punch it into the palm of your left palm. Zhao Wuji sighed helplessly. I'm unlucky. Why have I met such evildoers? It seems that I have to train them well in the future. If you don't polish it, you can't make it. When he said the last sentence, Zhao Wuji couldn't help but reveal a somewhat evil smile on his face. Zhao Wuji. A misty voice appeared without warning, the smile on his face instantly froze. Who? Zhao Wuji stood up abruptly, his eyes gleaming with coldness. At first, his reputation in the Soul Master world was not very good, and he thought it was his old enemy who had come. Come out. The sound is flat, but there is no room for doubt or discussion. Who is Zhao Wuji? Prince Fudo was also a master who killed countless people. He immediately walked out of the window without hesitation and came outside. With the soul power all over his body, he exerted force on his feet and quickly chased in the direction of the aura. A while, they came to a forest outside Shrek. Come out. Zhao Wuji shouted in a deep voice. Instantly, the martial soul possessed him, and the 7 soul rings began to vibrate. A dark figure came out from behind a big tree, covered in a black cloak. It can only be seen that he is a tall man. Who are you? Faced with Zhao Wuji's questioning, the black figure didn't speak and walked towards him calmly. A large, unpretentious hammer appeared in his hand. Every step he took, the soul ring suddenly appeared. The pressure on Zhao Wuji increased dramatically. At last, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red. A total of 9 soul rings were slowly rotating under his feet. Zhao Wuji felt as if cold water was splashing on his face, and his whole body shivered. It was difficult to spit out 4 words. Title Douluo. Suddenly, the man in black stopped 10 meters away from Zhao Wuji. Now that you're here, come out. With or without you, it doesn't make any difference. The figure flickers. There was someone else around Zhao Wuji, and the person who came was none other than Flanders, the 4-eyed cat eagle, the dean of Shrek Academy. I've seen Haotian Crown Emperor. Flanders had no intention of taking action, but instead bowed respectfully to the man in black. Zhao Wuji took a deep breath and felt his heart tighten. Finally I knew who the person in front of me was. Tang Hao was not surprised to be called out. This is normal, it fits Tang Hao's appearance, he said coldly. Flanders, the 4-eyed owl, right? No need to be polite, I'm here to cause trouble. I just want to spar with this Fudo king. In Zhao Wuji's eyes asking for help, Flender nodded and said, Your Majesty, I wonder what Zhao Wuji did to offend your Majesty. Could you please give me some sympathy? Stop talking nonsense, or I'll beat you up too. Tang Hao said coldly. He, Tang Hao, was an ironclad man who always spoke the truth. Ignoring Flanders, he hooked his hand at Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji, come on. I don't need martial arts. If you can hold on to my hand for as long as a stick of incense, I will leave immediately without saying a word. Zhao Wuji looked at Flanders' helpless look and smiled bitterly. Your Majesty Haotian, can you let me die more clearly? Humph. Do you even need to say that? If you beat the little one, I, the old man, will naturally come to seek justice. This is only natural. Tang Hao snorted coldly. Say no more. The sledgehammer in his hand and the soul ring at his feet dissipated at the same time. The next moment he came to Zhao Wuji. Bang bang, boom boom, ah, the sounds of collisions, surging sounds of energy, muffled groans, and screams resounded one after another in the woods. Flanders on the side couldn't help but cover his eyes. Don't dare to look any more. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 94. Can't you just play it lightly? You are listening at novelfull.audio. A shrill scream, the moonlight in the sky looks a bit pale, Master Tang used his fist as a hammer, I was treated to a full-body spa by Xiao Wu. After that, Tang Hao stood with his hands behind his hands, as if nothing had happened, not even a grain of dirt fell from the dirty black robe on his body. On the other hand, look at Zhao Wuji, he was already lying pitifully on the ground, with a bruised nose and swollen face, black eyes, blood crying from the corners of his mouth, gasping for air, and moaning in pain. Zhao Wuji, are you convinced? Tang Hao's cloudy eyes looked down at Zhao Wuji who was lying on the ground, and his voice was calm. Your Majesty, Zhao Wuji is convinced. Zhao Wuji wanted to get up, but he couldn't move. He gritted his teeth and spoke with a loud tongue. Tang Hao nodded with satisfaction, this is the power of his Haotian Douluo. If you don't want to accept it, you have to accept it. Abuse of food, just one word is cool. Flanders on the side, only then did he dare to come over and help Zhao Wuji up. What I just said is a warning to you. From now on, the mistress will trouble you. Tang Hao's voice was no longer cold, there is a hint of warmth in the calmness. Flanders knew that this tenderness was not for them, they don't deserve it. He looked at Zhao Wuji, the two of them nodded seriously towards Tang Hao, not daring to disobey. Very good, you are very good. Tang Hao was very satisfied, it was a great honor for them to praise him twice in a low voice. Say this last sentence. In the blink of an eye, Tang Hao had disappeared. Zhao Wuji stood there without moving for a long time, and his body had to be supported by Flanders to stand firm. Make sure Tang Hao has left. The more Zhao Wuji thought about it, the angrier he became. He spat blood towards the place where Tang Hao left. Bah! Come on, I didn't even do anything to Tang San, so you caught me and gave me a good beating. Pulling the wound, Zhao Wuji took a breath of cold air, complaining incessantly. The beating was really hard. Flanders, you two are so ungrateful. You just stand there and watch me get hammered. Flanders smiled bitterly. You mean loyalty? You mean loyalty and you want to drag me along to get beaten? My old body can't bear it. Okay, let's go. Hey Tang San. We're not going to have a father, are we? Lamented. Flander lifted Zhao Wuji up, she spread her wings behind her and took him back to the academy. Late at night, Ye Qiu is sitting cross-legged on the bed, it looks like he is practicing. In fact, more attention is still placed on Ah Yin. There is a branch and leaf pressed under the buttocks. Chat with Ah Yin and gain some verbal advantage. Ye Qiu, you are so dirty. Ah Yin's voice of shame and anger resounded through most of his mind, he gritted his teeth loudly. Can't you think of something normal in your mind? In less than one night, you have already missed me 3 times. It still has different movements. The voice of embarrassment became softer and softer. Later, shyness still dominated the majority, her face was flushed with shame and her big waves kept beating. Ye Qiu couldn't help but laugh. I am a young man. You are so full of blood, not to mention you are so beautiful and sexy. I think this is normal and normal. Praise for Ye Qiu, it's still a rare compliment to be uttered, she has basically no resistance, the beautiful eyes are shy and timid, Jiao said angrily. You talk so sweetly. Xiao Wu. Didn't Xiao Wu help you solve the problem this afternoon? Stop thinking about it, let's go to bed early. Ye Qiu was joking in his heart, he didn't do much teasing, he said calmly, don't worry, Tang Hao should be here soon. He had looked towards Zhao Wuji's residence from time to time, just now, found that Zhao Wuji was no longer in the room. Ye Qiu didn't expect it either, Tang San was not injured at all. Tang Hao still wanted to call Zhao Wuji out, I just don't know if I have hammered him or not. He's coming soon. Ah Yin was surprised when he heard what Ye Qiu said. Ye Qiu received a confirmed reply. Ah Yin didn't feel any joy in his heart, very strange. Could it be that he was afraid of hearing that Tang Hao would do it for that wild thing? Refuse to send yourself home to recover. With a mind that I am not sure about, Ah Yin stopped talking. Ye Qiu is also happy now, he needs to adjust his mentality. Not long after, Ye Qiu is sitting cross-legged on the bed, a strong wind suddenly blew open the window, there was a black shadow wrapped inside, the wind and waves hit his face, and Ye Qiu couldn't help but frown. Sour smell. Knowing what Ye Qiu was thinking, Ah Yin couldn't help but feel ashamed for Tang Hao. Immediately, feeling ashamed and annoyed again. Ye Qiu, what does his stinking have to do with me? Why do you want me to compensate you in your heart? Because you smell good. You are shameless. That the communication between one person and one grass lasts only a moment. Ye Qiu's eyelids were twitching due to the wind. Open those dark eyes. A black figure was standing not far away, very messy and vicissitudes of life. It gives people a sloppy feeling. Uncle Tang, I didn't expect you to come too. Ye Qiu blinked his eyes, looking surprised, but he still sat on Ah Yin's leaf and did not move. Ah! Tang Hao didn't care either. He was very cold. Cloudy eyes stared at Ah Yin, who was more than 1 meter tall. There was joy in his eyes, reaching out for touch. I don't know if it's the wind or Ah Yin himself. Even though Tang Hao tried for a long time, he still couldn't grasp it. The atmosphere suddenly became a little awkward. Tang Hao didn't need to be strong, for fear of hurting his delicate wife. Stand with your hands behind your back again. The hoarse voice made Ye Qiu feel a little uncomfortable. Very good, it seems you took good care of her very well. Of course, I will take good care of the grass that Uncle Tang entrusted to me. Ye Qiu's face was full of seriousness. He stretched out his hand and played with the blue silver emperor in the potted plant. Break it apart and pinch out the water. Tang Hao's eyes looked strange. Why is it like a shell in front of him, not moving much? As soon as Ye Qiu gets started, his branches are in full bloom and his branches are trembling. Let out a low drink. What are you doing? Ye Qiu was stunned for a moment, but still didn't stop. His face was honest and innocent. Uncle Tang, this is a way for me and her to communicate. Way of communication? Tang Hao frowned. Why can't I? Maybe I played too much. Too much fun. Tang Hao's face was full of weirdness. I always feel like there's something in this guy's words, but she is his wife after all, even if she is still a grass. Looking at the grass juice in Ye Qiu's hand, my heart ached. Can't you kid play more lightly? Ah ha. Be gentle. I'm afraid she won't understand what I mean. Ye Qiu smiled twice. Tang Hao squinted his eyes, feeling shocked and confused. He's not stupid either, he snorted coldly. Humph. Then tell me. What did she tell you? Ye Qiu had already prepared, just waiting for Tang Hao to deliver it to your door. Without even thinking about it, he said. She said she wanted to go home. She will grow faster and better at home. Uncle Tang, do you know where this grass's home is? That I wish you all a happy life. Q skirt, 6233511853. Chapter 95. The Heart Beats Because of Ye Qiu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Take Ah Yin home? Tang Hao was extremely shocked. At the same time, he already believed Ye Qiu's words. Ye Qiu is just a little-known boy with some good luck. It is impossible to know where the blue-silver forest is. Then there is only one truth. Think of this. Tang Hao looked at the blue-silver emperor, who was changing postures in Ye Qiu's hands. He didn't care about Ye Qiu's teasing. There was a little guilt and helplessness deep in his eyes. Ah Yin and Ye Qiu share the audiovisual experience. Naturally, Tang Hao's expression and behavior were clearly visible. A sadness filled my heart. Ye Qiu smiled secretly in his heart. Everything seemed to be pretty much what he had guessed. In this way, Ah Yin will be willing to follow him. Sooner or later, Ye Qiu continued to ask. Uncle Tang. What's wrong with you? Don't you know where this poor grass comes from? Ah Yin had no time to pay attention to Ye Qiu's ridicule. There is still one last bit of hope in my heart. Of course, when Tang Hao shook his head, Ah Yin suddenly laughed, a self-deprecating, very cold smile. I don't know where her home is now. Tang Hao lamented in his heart. Sorry, Ah Yin, for the sake of our son, I think you will understand me, right? If the mistress cannot awaken her bloodline, there is no way that piece of grass can walk side by side with the hammer. How can he get revenge? Make amends and revitalize our towering Haotian sect. That's such a shame. That Ye Qiu sighed. Tang Hao looked painful and didn't dare to stay for a long time. Because of this topic of going home, it also made Tang Hao give up the plan he had just made to take Ah Yin with him and take care of him for a while. Ah Yin is by the side that it was like a thorn in the throat, making his conscience uneasy. Okay, little boy, take good care of her and remember to be gentle. Besides, don't tell the mistress about me. Besides. Tang Hao paused and said seriously. Xiao Wuji, I have taught you a lesson. It was a great fight, that the words fell, come with the wind, go with the wind, leaving only the stench filling the room. Ye Qiu's mouth twitched slightly, not that is he sick. He was safe and sound, but Xiao Wuji was injured. Tang Hao actually stood up for himself. I guess only that feeling is real, this old boy is really cunning. Full of nonsense that it's not particular at all, even a kid can cheat, wait until everything is quiet. Ye Qiu raised his hand and sniffed, as expected of the blue silver emperor, this juice is so fragrant that it can cover up the stench left by Tang Hao. His mind moved. Ah Yin, why didn't you let Tang Hao touch you just now? I think he smells bad. Isn't that okay? Ah Yin's gentle voice had a hint of crying. Yeah, luckily you smell good enough, otherwise my room would be in trouble. Ye Qiu nodded and said, ha. Duplicitous grass, obviously he didn't want Tang Hao to touch him. Ah Yin laughed while crying, even if he laughs sadly, she didn't expect it either, for the future of that wild thing, Tang Hao could abandon his hope of life. He is not just for the future of the mistress. Stop talking, I don't want to talk about him. The words fell, the branches and leaves that Ye Qiu was sitting under were retracted by Ah Yin. Ye Qiu shook his head, it turned into a point of light, and a burst of light flashed past. Ye Qiu has already wrapped up Ah Yin, using himself to warm her and comfort her. In a dark space, Ah Yin huddled in the corner, crying silently. Even if Ye Qiu comes in, it's like I haven't heard of it. Ye Qiu also understood her and did not turn on the light. He walked over slowly and reminded. I promised you before that you have to make it up to me. Done. Lying behind Ah Yin, he hugged her waist from behind and pressed tightly together. Ah Yin shuddered, there was no resistance at all, tears were still flowing, and the roots behind the ears slowly turned red. Ye Qiu breathed gently on the back of her neck, good smell, the beautiful young woman feels great, fleshy and soft. Of course, Ye Qiu didn't forget the fun games he played before, I was taking pictures of my buttocks. Now Ye Qiu boldly changed his target, his so scary. Ah Yin bit her red lips and couldn't help but make a squeaking sound, tears welled up in the corners of his eyes intermittently. The sadness seems to be forgotten, the brain is a little hot, and then the body, the heart beats faster because of Ye Qiu. That's it. Ye Qiu just hugged her and stayed with her. He had no distracting thoughts. At least Ah Yin couldn't feel any distracting thoughts, except for that scorching heat. The soul power between the two people also slowly blended together. Practicing, the next day, early in the morning, because of the rising sun, Ah Yin woke up. Ye Qiu was kicked out, snapped. Clang. Not long after Ye Qiu had finished washing, the door was suddenly kicked open. She had just put on her pants and looked outside helplessly. Xiao Wu was seen dragging Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong, don't do this. Ye Qiu will be angry. Humph. Why are you angry? I am a creditor, okay? Isn't this what creditors always do when they come to your door? Xiao Wu, who was pulling Ning Rongrong, looking inside, his face turned red and his hands suddenly lost strength. Ning Rongrong threw Xiao Wu's hand away angrily. Ye Qiu. You liar, pay back the money quickly. As he spoke, he would turn around and point at Ye Qiu with an arrogant look on his face. Ah! A scream pierced the eardrums. Ye Qiu, you rogue. You don't wear any clothes in broad daylight. Ning Rongrong quickly covered her eyes with her fingers, her face turned red and blood dripped from her earlobes, while shouting, while peeking at the 8-pack abs. Ye Qiu looked at her fingers, which were destined to starve to death when she went to beg for food, rolled his eyes. Unexpectedly, Ning Rongrong was also a female gangster. Get dressed slowly and slowly. Can you please figure it out? It was you who broke into my room and stared at me. You are talking nonsense, I am not staring at you. Stop being narcissistic. Ning Rongrong turned around quickly in shame. My heart is still not at peace. The rogue rabbit next to him, even though he had already experienced Ye Qiu's strength, his eyes were still shining. Ye Qiu. Good morning. Xiao Wu jumped up and down towards Ye Qiu, just two simple explanations, just touching around with his two little hands. He still took the time to straighten Ye Qiu's clothes, then he took Ye Qiu's arm. Let's go have breakfast together. Row. Ye Qiu nodded, he waved his hand and did not forget to pack Ah Yin up and take him with him. Xiao Wu pouted and pulled Ye Qiu towards the door, crossed Ning Rongrong and closed the door. Ning Rongrong chased after him. You damn liar, please pay back the money quickly. If you don't pay back, you won't be able to live in peace. I paid it back just now. Where can I pay it back? Don't open your eyes and tell lies. Ning Rongrong trotted until she was in front of Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu, not letting go. Ye Qiu held Xiao Wu's hand and yawned, glanced at her, jokingly said. Just now, when you peeked at me, I paid for it. You. Bah! Ning Rongrong's words were incoherent and her face turned red. Who peeked at you? You're a filthy narcissist, that I wish you all a happy life. Q skirt, 6233518853. Chapter 96 Let Go of That Girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ning Rongrong followed, there was a commotion, the blush on her face never dissipated, the little witch's sharp tongue was in vain against Ye Qiu. If one day she could squat down and talk. Why Ye Qiu might stop, hold his head high and cooperate, and feel the little witch's amazing verbal skills. The three of them didn't know where Shrek's canteen was. Unknowingly, he has stepped out of the scope of Shrek Academy. It really doesn't work. I can only go to the villagers' houses to buy some food like. Last night, Ning Rongrong finally said she was tired and stared blankly with her green eyes. Ye Qiu put his arm around Xiao Wu's shoulders, opened his mouth and let out a long yawn, feeling a little sleepy because of Ning Rongrong's annoyance. Xiao Wu. Ye Qiu is so clever. Behind him, Tang San's slightly excited voice came, and within a few breaths, he ran to Ye Qiu's side. It's quite a coincidence. Ye Qiu stopped and nodded, his eyes were looking forward, there was a hint of teasing and danger in his eyes. Mistress, do you know where the canteen is? Xiao Wu snuggled into Ye Qiu's arms, her tone casual. Tang San shook his head. I don't know either. I originally wanted to drag Oscar along, but he ended up sleeping in. Oh. Xiao Wu nodded, everyone wanted to leave, but they found Ye Qiu standing there, looking at something. Tang San, Ning Rongrong and others were puzzled and looked along. Not far ahead, a man and a woman were arguing. He doesn't look very old, the girl is 14 or 5 years old. Although her appearance is ordinary, she is youthful and energetic and her clothes are simple, and that man, he is similar in age to Ye Qiu and others. He is not tall and very fat. He only has a butt but no waist. He has short red comb hair, mung-bean eyes, fat accumulation on his face, and 2 whiskers on his lips, making him look very greasy and vulgar. Ye Qiu recognized the two of them at a glance. Ma Hongjun, Shrek's chicken coop phoenix, and Suehua, a villager. The two of them were pulling each other as if no one was around. What did the fat man eat when he grew up? Why is he so wretched? Ning Rongrong curled her lips in disgust. He glanced at Ye Qiu secretly, wanting to see his abdominal muscles to wash his eyes, but it was Ye Qiu who caught him. Look away quickly. Humph. What's so good about this? With an angry snort, Ning Rongrong was about to leave. Of course, when I heard the conversation between the two people, Ning Rongrong seemed to have roots under his feet, unable to move for a while. I'm not tired of it either, I'm listening to the gossip and eating the melon with great interest. Even Tang San, who was usually stoic, watched this scene with great interest. Suehua had fear in her eyes. Ma Hongjun, don't come to me again, we're done. Ma Hongjun made a strange noise. Suehua, am I not treating you badly? Suehua's face was red and white, and she was more afraid than ashamed. She was afraid of being a widow. This is not a question of whether I am good or not. I am an ordinary, normal woman. We are really not suitable. Please, don't come to me again. Facing Suehua's plea, Ma Hongjun suddenly became angry. There is desire hidden in the eyes the size of mung beans. What do you mean we are not suitable? I don't know why you girls are in so much trouble. It's okay if you want to break up. If you let me do it again, I will agree to break up with you. Otherwise, no way. That the words are not finished yet, Ma Hongjun was about to forcefully pull Tsuehua. Tsuehua reacted quickly, but she was an ordinary person after all. Ma Hongjun was faster and grabbed her hand. Tsuehua, don't worry, I'll be quick, it won't take a few seconds. Tsuehua begged. Ma Hongjun, please let me go, you are too young. Hearing Ma Hongjun's words, Ye Qiu couldn't help laughing, and Tang San also had a strange look on his face. Even Ning Rongrong looked full of contempt. Xiao Wu felt happy in her heart and raised her eyes to look at Ye Qiu, her face turned red. Fortunately, she and Xiao Qiu would last forever. Seeing that Tsuehua is about to escape the murderous hand, Xiao Wu couldn't stand it anymore. Although she was a rogue rabbit, she also had a sense of justice. Leaving Ye Qiu, he jumped out in one step. Stop! Let that girl go. Ma Hongjun and Tsuehua were stunned at the same time and looked towards Xiao Wu. The fat man's little eyes blinked, the whiskers on his lips trembled a few times, and his little eyes sparkled with desire. What a beautiful girl! What? Do you want to take her place as my girlfriend? Very good, I approve. Ma Hongjun smiled evilly, pointed at Xiao Wu and winked. Fuck your mother's fart. Xiao Wu was furious. How dare you say such words to yourself in front of Ye Qiu? Ying jumped up and kicked Ma Hongjun in the crossbody. You pervert, you're in heat right here in broad daylight, let's see if Sister Xiaowu doesn't destroy you. Behind Xiao Wu, Ye Qiu's eyes were also ice cold. This idiot simply doesn't know how to live or die. The index finger flexed slightly, and a grain of golden gravel fell on the fingertip. Dragon beard needle is ready to go. Fuck, the fatal blow struck, and Ma Hongjun had no time to look away. He quickly let go of Tsuehua and retreated, his face darkened. This is our business. Stop being a dog and a rat and mind your own business. Since you don't want to be my woman, then get out of here. Not far away, Ning Rongrong watched Ye Qiu frown, with a teasing look in his eyes. Not waiting for her to provoke, Ye Qiu and Tang San walked forward one after another. You. Xiao Wu was about to take action right away. Tang San blocked her. He pretended to be the right person. Your name is Ma Hongjun, right? You can't force emotional matters. Please don't provoke this girl again. He could vaguely see that the little fat man in front of him didn't seem to be simple. Hey, who are you? You dare to interfere in my affairs. You won't be happy, right? Ma Hongjun snorted disdainfully. When it came to his father, Tang San's face immediately darkened. He said in a cold voice, Who are you? Ma Hongjun's whiskers moved, not timid at all. Whoever meddles in other people's business is me. Tang San was angry and was about to take action. Suddenly a black figure, as fast as lightning, passed straight past Tang San. What the hell? A big steel hand pressed down on Ma Hongjun's fat face before anyone else could react. Ye Qiu snorted coldly, twist your waist, bend your elbows to accumulate strength, and place your palms at shoulder level, throw it hard. Ma Hongjun rolled out with screams, sliding into a ravine on the ground, spilling blood, and couldn't stand up for a while. One hit, Ye Qiu waved his hand. He glanced at Tang San who was still a little stunned. Xiao San, when did you become so stubborn? Where was the Tang San who stood at the gate of Nodding Academy with the method of death in mind? Haha. Damn liar, good fight. Ning Rongrong watched the situation escalate, fearing that the world would not be in chaos. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes and was too lazy to pay attention to her for the time being. Xiao Wu glared at Ning Rongrong, first called Tsuehua aside, and then grabbed Ye Qiu's sleeve with a soft voice. Ye Qiu's sister Xiao Wu can do it by herself. No, I don't want to dirty your hands. Ye Qiu chuckled, the smile on his face was a bit cold. Xiao Wu was delighted, she knows, Ye Qiu must be angry. Tang San on the side smiled bitterly, he had clearly wanted to take action just now. It hurt so much. In the distance, Ma Hongjun, who had varying degrees of scratches on his body and face, finally got up. His clothes were torn and his nose was bleeding, the fat on his face was trembling, and his mung bean-sized eyes were filled with anger. He wiped his face casually, making it completely unrecognizable. It turns out that you are also soul masters, and you actually dare to attack Fatty. You are looking for death. After saying the harsh words, Ma Hongjuan's elbows shook. He shouted, "Phoenix possessed, that I wish you all a happy life." Q skirt, 6233518853. Chapter 97 Don't Fight Anymore. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I heard the word Phoenix. Tang San and others who didn't know the truth were shocked at the same time. Among the beast spirits, there are several particularly powerful ones, including the Phoenix spirit, like the Dragon Martial Spirit. It is the best among powerful combat martial spirits, but Ye Qiu had a look of disdain. It's just a chicken. Under the gazes of Ye Qiu and others, purple-red light surged out of Ma Hongjuan's body. The short hair on the head suddenly became longer and gathered towards the middle, no different from a coxcomb. Long feathers extend from the exposed thick arms, which serve as wings, and the hands become claw-shaped. 2 yellow soul rings rose from his feet at the same time. A wave of heat swept through. There is no majesty in his appearance, only comedy. Is this a phoenix? Ning Rongrong's brain shut down. Isn't this phoenix too ugly? Xiao Wu finally understood why Ye Qiu said that and couldn't help but sneer. Haha. How can it be a phoenix? It looks like a chicken. Haha. After the words fell, Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu laughed at the same time. Tang San also couldn't help laughing. Even this old hen with her hair falling out is prettier than him. Who do you call a native chicken? Ma Hongjun was touched and became furious, and the purple-red flames on his body became much stronger. He raised his hands, and the first soul ring on his body suddenly lit up. Xiao Wu, step back. Ye Qiu gave an order and immediately entered the spirit-possessed state and rushed towards Ma Hongjun. The first soul skill, Phoenix Fireline. Ma Hongjun opened his mouth fiercely, and a thin stream of purple-red flame spurted out towards Ye Qiu. The intense heat caused white smoke to appear in the air. Tang San secretly felt in his heart that such a strong flame was simply the nemesis of his blue-silver grass. Seeing that Ye Qiu didn't take any precautions, he wanted to pick it up. He couldn't help but remind him aloud. Ye Qiu, be careful. Bang. The line of fire hit Ye Qiu's chest, making a muffled sound and scattering around, like a coquettish purple-red flower. How can it be? Ma Hongjuan's eyes widened and he was extremely shocked. There are actually people who can resist their own Phoenix fire line without using soul skills. This is something even Teacher Zhao can't do. He gritted his teeth, but he no longer believed in evil, while maintaining the fire line, increased the firepower. Xiao Wu, why aren't you worried about that big liar? Ning Rongrong's green eyes reflected a firework flower, which she felt was a bit magnificent. Humph. Sister Xiaowu believes in him. Xiao Wu raised her head proudly and hummed, but her eyes never left Ye Qiu. The flames intensified, but Ye Qiu's speed did not slow down. He naturally knew that Ma Hongjuan's flames were extraordinary, but the fire immunity attribute of his martial soul made him very satisfied. Looking at the ire not getting closer and closer, a look of horror flashed in Ma Hongjuan's eyes. What the hell is this? Without any time to be surprised, Ma Hongjun maintained his soul skills and tried to retreat. Ye Qiu sneered. With just a flick of his finger, a golden thread as thick as a cow's hair was hidden in the sun and submerged into Ma Hongjun's thigh. What? Ma Hongjun only felt that he had been bitten by a mosquito, and then there was a heartbreaking pain in his leg. Phoenix firewire crashes. Ma Hongjun covered the bulge in his leg and screamed, swish. A blue and white figure approaches. Ma Hongjuan's eyes went blank for a while. Puff. Suddenly, there was a severe impact and pain in my belly. I bowed like a shrimp, my eyes were wide, and blood and bitter water poured out of my mouth. Fortunately, I didn't have breakfast, otherwise I would have wasted food. Ye Qiu hit his knee, creating a floating effect, floating up and hitting the ground. Ma Hongjun curled up and lost his voice in pain. Ye Qiu didn't go too far. He concealed the stabbing on his knee and restrained most of his strength, otherwise, his life will be gone. Stop fighting, you guys, don't fight. Seeing how miserable Ma Hongjun was, Suihua quickly stepped forward to break up the fight and ran towards Ma Hongjun quickly, crouching down and shaking him. Ma Hongjun, how are you? The flames on Ma Hongjuan's body had long been extinguished. His face was twisted and convulsed with pain, and he was drooling, unable to speak. What's going on with you? Xiao Wu looked at Cuihua's concerned expression on Ma Hongjun and couldn't help but feel a little confused. It's okay to have feelings, Ye Qiu said angrily, and with a swipe he released the possession of the martial spirit. Ning Rongrong looked at Ye Qiu and was stunned. Tang San, on the other hand, was trembling all over, with excitement in his eyes, looking at Ye Qiu as if he was looking at a peerless treasure. He was very obsessed. He saw it. The 8th-ranked hidden weapon, the Dragon Needle. Where did Ye Qiu find such a thing? Just when Tang San was about to step forward to ask, a surprised voice sounded. Ye Qiu, fatty, what are you doing? Ye Qiu, Tang San and others, looked in the direction of the sound. Dai Mubai, wearing white clothes and neatly combed golden hair, was walking in this direction. Looking at Ma Hongjun's miserable state, he frowned. Xiao Wu immediately snorted coldly. He told him about Ma Hongjun bullying girls in broad daylight. Dai Mubai's stern face suddenly couldn't help laughing. He explained verbally. Xiao Wu, I think you have misunderstood. He is one of our Shrek students, because of the evil fire. Even after learning the reason, Xiao Wu remained stubborn and reasonable. Even if that's the case, that shouldn't be the reason for him to force girls. Dai Mubai also understood. Ma Hongjun was indeed unkind in this matter. This kind of thing should be easy to get together and break up, he said to Cuihua with an apologetic expression. Miss Cuihua, you have worked so hard during this period. I would like to apologize to you on behalf of Fatty. Cuihua shook her head gently. Hand Ma Hongjun, who has regained consciousness, to Dai Mubai, he said softly. Hongjun, you are a good person. We can get together and part ways easily. Goodbye. After issuing the good person card, Cuihua turned around and ran away. This time, Ma Hongjun didn't pull or had the strength to stop him. Instead, he looked at Ye Qiu with some resentment. Because of the dragon beard needle, it's a bit awkward to speak. Dai, boss Dai, you have to help me get revenge for Fatty. Ye Qiu raised his eyebrows and glanced at Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai's face darkened. I already disliked his fat body, but now I dislike it even more. Fat man, you are asking me to die. Do you remember what I told you? There are 2 soul sects coming to our college. What? Ma Hongjun's eyes widened. Ye Qiu looked at him in disbelief. He didn't even notice that he was a soul sect just now. Ahem. Dai Mubai coughed twice and said awkwardly, okay, Fatty, we will all be classmates from now on, let's just let this matter go. This can be regarded as no longer acquaintances. Ignoring Ma Hongjun, Dai Mubai looked at Ye Qiu. Ye Qiu, what do you think? Ye Qiu shrugged, I have no problem. Haha. Okay. If you like me, then let's go. Dai Mubai said 2 beautiful words to expose the matter, then he supported Ma Hongjun, whose face was full of dissatisfaction, and walked towards the grounds of Shrek Academy. Ye Qiu and others followed behind. Tang San looked at Ye Qiu strangely, still waiting for him to tighten his needle. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 98, Learn to do it yourself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boss Dai, is this really the case? Ma Hongjun felt very unwilling. He had never suffered such a big loss before. Dai Mubai glared at him angrily. Lower your voice. What do you want? The last time I was beaten by Xiao Wu was worse than you. I didn't say anything, just hold it in. Ma Hongjun also remembered. Dai Mubai looked so embarrassed that day that several of his ribs were broken. The fat on his body suddenly trembled. Hey! Boss Dai, please slow down, it hurts. Losing his desire for revenge, Ma Hongjun suddenly grinned and his thighs throbbed terribly. Fat man, what's wrong with you? My legs are bulging. Hear the cries of pain in front of you. After waiting for a long time without seeing Ye Qiu's movement, Tang San was about to step forward. Ye Qiu was 1 step ahead of him. Stop, I forgot to take it out for you. Dai Mubai and the 2 stopped. Seeing Ye Qiu walking up to him, Ma Hongjun shrank into Dai Mubai's arms. Damn! Fatty, don't come over here. Dai Mubai pushed him away in disgust, and his white clothes were stained. Under Tang San's curious gaze, Ye Qiu smiled casually. Put your hand on Ma Hongjun's leg and inject soul power. The dragon's beard needle spread out in the flesh. Ma Hongjun suddenly cried out in pain again, and the fat on his body trembled wildly. Ah Wu boss die, I feel pain. Fat man, if you make these weird noises again, believe it or not, I will kill you. Facing the disgusted and disgusting looks of Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong, blue veins popped out on Dai Mubai's head. Ye Qiu snickered in his heart. The soul-pulling dragon's beard needle touched Ma Hongjuan's leg directly. Ah! Boss die! Damn fat man, you've had enough. Spreading his palms, there was a golden needle lying in the palm. As the soul power dissipated, it curled up into a grain of golden sand again. Tang San frowned. Ye Qiu's method was too rough. It caused secondary damage to Ma Hongjun. Ye Qiu turned his palms, put away the golden sand, stood up and clapped his hands. Okay, solved. Looking at Ma Hongjun, cold sweat broke out on his head, and Dai Mubai shivered. Ye Qiu felt secretly happy. He deliberately made Ma Hongjun suffer more and more pain. No way, he is petty when it comes to his own woman. By the way, fatty, I'll give you some advice. Ye Qiu patted Ma Hongjun on the shoulder, with a dangerous and playful smile on his face. Better keep your mouth and eyes clean from now on. Otherwise, I can't promise that I won't deal with you again. Besides, there is no need to ruin girls with your evil fire. You must learn to be self-sufficient. You don't have much time anyway, so it won't be a problem. Ye Qiu finished speaking. Dai Mubai ignored Ma Hongjuan's embarrassed expression and laughed. Ha ha ha, fat man, Ye Qiu is right, do it yourself and don't ask for help. Dai Mubai also agreed with Ye Qiu's words. After all, Zhu Zhuqing is here, and his own woman doesn't want to be seen by others. Ye Qiu didn't say this that he will also find a time to warn Fatty. Fat man, did you hear that? Heard it. Ma Hongjun blushed and nodded in agreement. After the little farce ended, everyone started walking again towards the college cafeteria. Tang San, who loved hidden weapons as much as his life, could not help but feel doubts in his heart. He walked up to Ye Qiu and asked. Ye Qiu, where did you get those needles? Ye Qiu pretended to be surprised. Oh. Mistress, do you know Niu Maozhen? Ox hair needle? Yes, this is the name I chose. How about it? It's appropriate. Yeah, it's okay. The corner of Tang San's mouth twitched slightly, and his answer was a little reluctant. This name is really cheap. Xiao Wu, who was holding Ye Qiu's arm on the other side, couldn't help laughing. She knew that Ye Qiu was trying to deceive people again. Tang San was stunned for a moment. He didn't think much about it. He just thought that Xiao Wu had a connection with him and thought the name was unpleasant. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes at Xiao Wu angrily. Of course he couldn't directly say the name of Longsushan. Continue to answer Tang San's questions. It's a coincidence that when I was shopping, I accidentally broke a crystal belonging to someone else. After buying it with tears, I accidentally discovered it when I was cleaning up the debris. At that time, I thought of Xiao San. When you fight, you like to throw things away. So I packed it away. I didn't expect it to be surprisingly useful when thrown away, but there were just not many of them. Littering. Several black lines appeared on Tang San's forehead. He didn't expect that his method of using hidden weapons would look like throwing things away in Ye Qiu's eyes. This is simply an insult to his Tang sect hidden weapon. But the other party is aboriginal, he doesn't need to explain so much. Ye Qiu's last sentence also gave up the idea of opening his mouth to ask for it, but, when I think of the beautiful things that happened to Ye Qiu, even Tang San couldn't help but feel envious. Ye Qiu, you are very lucky, right? Ye Qiu hugged Xiao Wu and laughed. Huh. Of course, after all, I am handsome and love to laugh. Xiao Wu blushed. Even though Ye Qiu was telling the truth, she was still ashamed of Ye Qiu. Bah! You liar, you are so shameless. Ning Rongrong spat lightly and rolled her eyes at Ye Qiu. This guy is so thick-skinned, and she always felt that Ye Qiu was lying again just now. This is her sixth sense as a woman. Ye Qiu glanced at Ning Rongrong and didn't want to say anything more. She will cry tonight. Hearing Ye Qiu's shameless words, Tang San opened his mouth, not knowing how to answer it. I had to smile bitterly, stop the topic, but he still wanted to correct Ye Qiu's mistake. Ye Qiu, I think it's better to call this thing Dragon Beard Needle. What do you think? In this regard, Ye Qiu naturally agreed, after all, it's just a name. Tang San didn't ask for it without asking him, and he wouldn't give it to him if he asked for it, that's capitalizing on the enemy. Soon, Ye Qiu and others arrived at the cafeteria under the leadership of Dai Mubai, the so-called canteen. It's just an agreement between the college and this village. Several villagers were hired to take care of everyone's meals. Although it was simple, it was better than having enough food. When they came to the cafeteria, Zhu Zhuqing was already sitting inside, eating alone, perhaps because they joined forces yesterday and Ye Qiu treated her again. Zhu Zhuqing nodded towards Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu. Ma Hongjun was still injured at this time, but it didn't stop him from straightening his eyes and swallowing his saliva without concealment. Dai Mubai bumped him with his elbow and whispered, "Fat man, please be honest and don't ask for a beating." Ma Hongjun trembled and immediately became more restrained. Seeing that he was still reluctant to leave, Dai Mubai hit him twice with more force. "Damn! Boss Dai, you hurt me." Dai Mubai gritted his teeth, his head covered with black lines, wishing he could kill him. Words spoken, did it all go through the lower body? Ignoring the teasing of Ning Rongrong and Ning Rongrong, Dai Mubai secretly looked at Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing didn't seem to notice them. He ate breakfast slowly, his face still cold. "I wish you all a happy life." Q skirt, 6233518853. Chapter 100. You can do whatever you want to Sister Xiaowu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hear what Flanders said. Ye Qiu and the others also took out the golden soul coins and handed them to Dai Mubai. Ma Hongjun paid the money. He hurriedly ran to the chicken coop outside the college. Dai Mubai looked at Zhu Zhuqing's back. His face looked uncertain. "I decided to go find her after delivering the money first. Tang San has something to give to Flanders." Ye Qiu didn't want to wait for him, and walked toward the dormitory with Xiao Wu. His eyes were looking at Zhu Zhuqing. Ye Qiu. Xiao Wu pulled Ye Qiu's arm in displeasure, asking him to focus on her. "I can't even take a look at it." Ye Qiu looked at her angrily. If it had happened before, she would have been spanked until she begged for mercy. "You looked at me for too long." Xiao Wu pursed her lips. He straightened his body and hugged Ye Qiu's arm tightly, leaning on Ye Qiu's shoulder. A pair of round and big crimson eyes, covered with water, stared straight at Ye Qiu. He looked shy and his voice was soft. "Sister Xiaowu will also grow in the future. You can watch it as you wish." "Just watching." Ye Qiu raised his eyebrows with a playful expression. Xiao Wu's red face spread to the surrounding area. The tips of the ears and the snowy neck are filled with bright colors. Biting her red lips, she said with difficulty, "You can do whatever you want. Sister Xiaowu will be obedient." Ye Qiu stopped. He turned around and took Xiao Wu into his arms. "Okay." Xiao Wu raised her watery eyes and looked at Ye Qiu doubtfully. "Silly rabbit, I will be nice to you." Ye Qiu pinched her tender face and smiled softly, aiming at Xiao Wu's fragrant lips. He leaned over to collect honey. The handsome face is enlarged in the room. Ye Qiu has already bitten her cherry lips. "Ah." Xiao Wu had a shy smile in her eyes, but she didn't forget to respond and hummed softly. Squinting his eyes slightly, he raised his head to meet. The small hand slowly climbed up to Ye Qiu's chest and stroked it gently. After a kiss, Ye Qiu extended his thumb. The warm fingertips passed across the red lips, cleaning away some of the crystal. He looked at Xiao Wu. The voice is gentle. "You go back to the dormitory first. I have something else to do. Then, you have to come back soon. Don't worry, I will practice with you tonight." Ye Qiu scratched the bridge of her nose and kissed her forehead again, then he let go of her delicate body. Xiao Wu pouted. "Don't lie to Sister Xiaowu. Do not lie to you. It is good." Xiao Wu, who was a little tipsy, agreed wholeheartedly. With a faint smile on his face, he happily skipped towards Ye Qiu's dormitory. She caressed her red lips softly, feeling happy in her heart. "It seems that the book is right. The more jealous you are, the more sugar you will get." "Very good, Sister Xiaowu will be the sweet and sour jar from now on." Ye Qiu looked at her back funny. I pursed my lips. It tasted good, very well behaved, although easily jealous, but it's still quite rare. Eyes glowing, Ye Qiu put away the tenderness in his heart. "Get serious." The eye of insight swept towards the direction Zhu Zhuqing left. Flanders, with a grimace on his face. Oscar accepted the lap training that he called euphemistically to help the auxiliary soul masters save their lives and build up their physical strength, but the good thing is, his new pursuits were also named. This is a rare opportunity to be alone. He quickly gathered his emotions and ran out with Ning Rongrong. Watching the two of them leave, a sly smile appeared on Flanders' lips. As an academy that only accepts monsters, there is never a shortage of students who are arrogant and disobedient to discipline. I have been a dean for so many years. He also has quite a lot of experience in training these thorns, and he knows them very well. What's more, he still had the letter from Ning Fengji in his hand. That's a gold medal to avoid death. After laughing evilly for a while, he looked at Tang San. Tang San understood, touched the bright moonlit night on the 24 bridge on his waist, and presented a letter with both hands. Dean, this is what the teacher told me. If I can successfully pass the entrance test, I will give you this letter. Humph. Still so obsessed with saving face, Flanders snorted coldly. After taking the letter, he opened it and looked at it, his face gradually showing joy. Haha. Xiao Jiang actually wants to come to Shrek Academy. Are you finally no longer avoiding me? Teacher is coming to Shrek too. That's right. Great. Tang San's voice was filled with surprise. He respects you, Xiao Jiang, from the bottom of his heart. At the same time, he still had something to ask the teacher. If possible, he would also like to try the Super Life Soul Ring. There is no doubt that Tang San was arrogant. Ye Qiu's soul ring was so eye-catching, there was no reason why he shouldn't be greedy for it. Although he doesn't have fairy grass, he has Xiantian Kung and doesn't expect to live for 10,000 years. He just wants to achieve the ultimate perfection. Flanders put the letter in his hand into the soul guide and waved Tang San away. Okay, go back and get ready. Don't get hurt tonight. I understand, Dean. With doubts about the night, Tang San retreated as instructed. Flanders looked at Tang San's back with sadness and relief. His wings spread out behind him, went to monitor Ning Rongrong and Oscar. On the path around the village, Ning Rongrong was already impatient. At the beginning, she was still full of confidence. After all, at home, under the supervision of her father, she was still very good at running. But she had been running for a while now. I didn't even see the end of the first lap. If she continued at this rate, she wouldn't even be able to make it in time for dinner. What's more, she hadn't even eaten a few bites of breakfast, so she couldn't keep up the pace she started at. Oscar, how far is this circle? No less than 3 kilometers. We definitely won't be able to finish it before dinner. Oscar had a wry smile on his face, then he comforted him, but don't be afraid. With me here, are you still worried about being hungry? Ning Rongrong glanced at him. The soft eyes are a bit charming. Oscar's bones felt a little weak when she saw him. He smiled and whispered like a treasure. I have a big sausage. There was a flash of light, and a sausage appeared in his hand. He handed it to Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, my first soul skill is recovery. It has the effect of healing injuries and restoring physical strength. Get out of my way, miss. Eat your dead head. I still have 2 thick slices of bread. Nausea. Ning Rongrong couldn't bear it anymore. After saying that, the 7 treasure glazed tile tower floated out, with agility assistance added, and the speed suddenly increased. In a flash, he disappeared from Oscar's eyes. Run towards Soto City. Oscar was left a little stunned and at a loss. There was a black spot in the sky above Oscar's head. Flanders flapped his wings with a smile on his lips, and things turned out just as he expected. Oscar, I will force you to run 20 laps again. Zhu Zhuqing, do you dare to say that you didn't come to Shrek to find me? Now that you're here, why are you showing off to me? Shrek Academy, in front of Zhu Zhuqing's dormitory. Dai Mubai's various low voices and harsh shouts only resulted in Zhu Zhuqing's cold and emotionless words. Far away, Ye Qiu saw Dai Mubai's face turned ugly and left angrily. Zhu Zhuqing's face was cold. He stood there, feeling pain in his heart. He is just a useless prince who runs away in embarrassment. Why do you think you must be him? Just because of the arranged fate? But he has obviously abandoned himself, but this is her fate, and she has no choice but to live. She understood that she had a gift that she simply couldn't handle on her own. She can only hope now. Dai Mubai can change, but now she only sees his incompetence, rage, bullying, and romantic nature. Zhu Zhuqing released his clenched fists, he picked up his steps and walked towards the dormitory. Zhu Zhuqing. Do you want to become stronger? I wish you all a happy life.